Good morning, everyone, and welcome to my YouTube channel, J.E.M.E.D. This morning, we will be gemmed up under the theme The Whole Babylon, and we will be looking at Revelation chapter 17, and it reads, And there came one of the seven angels which had the seven vials, and talked with me, saying unto me, Come hither, I will show unto thee the judgment of the great whore that sitteth upon many waters, with whom the kings of the earth have committed fornication, and the inhabitants of the earth have been made drunk with the wine of her fornication. So he carried me away in the spirits into the wilderness, and I saw a woman sit upon a scarlet colored beast, full of names of blasphemy, having 7 heads and 7 horns. And the woman was arrayed in purple and scarlet color, and decked with gold and precious stones and pearls, having a golden cup in her hand, full of abominations and filthiness of her fornication. And upon her forehead was a name written, Mystery, Babylon the Great, the mother of harlots and abominations of the earth. And I saw the woman drunken with the blood of the saints and with the blood of the martyr of Yeshua. And when I saw her, I wondered with great admiration. And the angel said unto me, Wherefore didst thou marvel? I will tell thee the mystery of the woman and of the beast that carried her, which have the 7 heads and 10 horns. The beast that thou sawest was and is not, and shall ascend out of the bottomless pit and go into perdition. And they that dwell on the earth shall wonder, whose names were not written in the book of life from the foundation of the world, when they behold the beast that was and is not and yet is. And here is the mind which have wisdom. The 7 heads are 7 mountains on which the woman sitteth. And these are the 7 kings. 5 are fallen, and one is, the other is not yet come. And when he cometh, he must continue a short space. And the beast that was and is not, even in the 8th, and is of the 7, and goeth into perdition. And the 10 horns which thou sawest are 10 kings, which have received no kingdom as yet, but received power as kings 1 hour with the beast. These have one mind, and shall give their power and strength to the beast. They shall make war with the Lamb, and the Lamb shall overcome them, for he is Lord of lords and King of kings. And they that are with him are called and chosen and faithful. And he saith unto me, The waters which thou sawest, where the war sitteth, are people and multitudes and nations and tongues. And the 10 horns which you saw upon the beast, these shall hate the whore, and shall make her desolate and naked, and shall eat her flesh, and burn her with fire. For ye have put in their hearts to fulfill his will, and to agree and give the kingdom unto the beast, until the word of Yah shall be fulfilled. And the woman which you saw is that great city which reigneth over the kings of the earth. This is the word of the Lord. So, As per usual, we're going to be going into some details just to get a better understanding as to what to expect. Since we currently are in the last days, like it's not like before when persons would just have it said as a normal saying. So it was always said, we're currently in the last days, we're currently in the last days. We're seeing evidence of being way towards the end. So let's just go through it. Okay, so the first thing I would like us to look into is the word whole, because a lot of persons find it offensive, but here we see that the Bible is using it, and there is reason for using it because of what it means. So it is literally someone who sells their body for sexual uses or for some form of personal gain, right? The other meaning would be an idolater. And someone who's an idolater is someone who worships or gives excessive devotion to or reverence for something or someone. So if you're in idolatry, you're considered to be a whore. So in essence, your commitment, your marriage should be to your creator, your savior. However, if your devotion is to something else, then in essence you can consider it to be cheating, and then in essence you can consider it to be being a whore towards who you're supposed to be committed to. And to be honest, idolatry literally is putting anything above the Father. So here we're seeing there is great judgment on the whole that sitteth upon many waters. And as we saw lower down, many waters refer to many people, many multitudes, nations, languages, right? People of different backgrounds, tribes, countries, languages, just various people. So she sitteth upon many waters. And when we look at sitting, we know to sit is to somewhat dwell, to have a fixed abode. And you're not doing it with putting pressure on your feet, you're doing it with an ease. So you're sitting, so you're becoming a bit more comfortable. So she sitteth upon many people of many tongues, of many nations, of many kindreds. Right? Verse 2 goes on to say, she committed fornication with many kings. So many leaders fell prey to being committed to her and submitted to her ways of doing things, submitted to her leadership. So we see that many kings stand for the leaders of the earth, committed fornication, and also inhabitants of the earth became drunk with the wine of a fornication. Now, when you speak of wine, you would see that well, wine is more or less symbolizing something else as a love potion. It's something that's alcoholic. It's something which means that it can lead to being drunk, and it's something that can lead to enticing in some way, shape, or form. So I can understand why wine was the symbolism used here, right? So the inhabitants were made drunk with a fornication. So what they drank, it seemed sweet, it seemed soothing for that time. However, it is something that took them out of being sober and vigilant. It seemed sweet, but there was a negative effect with it because they became drunk with it. And what it was a situation where they were making commitments, they were becoming parts, they were becoming one. Because, as you know, with fornication, when you speak of intercourse, you're becoming one with the other individual. All right. So then there was this oneness, this likeness. between the inhabitants of the earth and this woman. And we know that the woman is literally Babylon, so it is the great city, right? So if you can think of it, what is the great city? The great country, the leader that many persons are that many countries and many leaders are submitting to, that many leaders are attempting to pattern their country after. That is the even the currency is the measuring standard. That standard is set, and every other country, every other king, every other leader follow suit. Laws are being put in place, and if perchance a country desires to do things differently, there is some repercussion with that country not falling in alignment with the belief system of that Babylon, of that whole. So that's some food for thoughts. I will not necessarily name it, but I'm pretty sure we can guess. So let's continue verse 3. So he carried me away in the spirit into the wilderness. So it was to a place of solidarity, it was to a place of loneliness. Carried me away in the spirit into the wilderness, and I saw a woman sit upon a scarlet colored beast. And when we speak of scarlet, we more or less speaking of red, right? So, and she was full of names of blasphemy, having 7 heads and 10 horns. And lower down in the chapter, we would see what the 7 heads and the 10 horns mean. And the woman was arrayed in purple and scarlet color. You know, purple signifies royalty, so of the highest standard, right? So she was considered, her rank in her status was considered to be of the optimal and scarlet color, decked with gold and precious stones, pearls, having a golden cup in a hand full of abomination and the filthiness of a fornication. So we can understand the appearance of the woman. She's one to be admired because of all what she has, right? However, the golden cup in her hand was full of abominations, things that are unacceptable in the sight of our Father, and the filthiness, what occurred through her fornication, through the relationship that she has with others. And think of this great city imposing their beliefs, probably on a small island, that for the small island to continue to receive funds and assistance from this great city, the small island have to fall in alignment with the standards of this great city. So if something is put in place concerning, say, the alphabet community, the island have to fall in alignment with it, whether they believe it, whether the people are for it or not, or else there would be repercussions by that great city, right? So she have in her hand a golden cup full with abomination and the filthiness what's occurring of a fornication. Now, with that, we understand that we can also look into the fact that, first and foremost, the angels have the vials with the plagues. We know that the Father does have that golden bowl, right, with the prayers of the saints. And we see here, and as we know, the enemy attempts to mimic everything. That's from the Father. So there is some form of direct or close enough away. So let's go a little bit lower. Verse 5 says, and upon her forehead was written mystery. Now, when we speak of mystery, we speak of something that is hidden, something that's a secret, right? So it's not something that one would just know. There is a mystery behind that great city, who that great city is, how that great city probably attained its standard and level, how it keeps it. There's much mystery behind it, right? The actual purpose and focus of that great city. A lot of the times, even when we look at not social media, but even the news, right? We realize that there is an agenda with it. The news portrays what it would like to portray to program individuals how they would like individuals to be programmed. So, with that being said, you get a portion of what truly happens. So then your emotions or your decisions or your perceptions stem from just that versus the actual full truth. So then it's been distorted. So then we see mystery there. Then the name on the forehead was also Babylon the Great, the mother of harlots. Now, when you speak of a mother, I wanted to go a little bit deeper in it. You speak of one who molds and one who manages. So that was the mother of harlots, and we know a harlot is a prostitute selling the body. So then they would sell the country, they would sell the people, they would sell the blood of individuals. So that was the one molding and teaching persons how to do that for some form of gain. So she was the mother of harlots and abominations of the earth. The mother of abominations of the earth. That goes to show the level of influence and impact Babylon has on the earth. And I saw the woman drunken with blood of the saints. And here we see what fuels this city, what fuels Babylon, the blood of the saints. And with the blood of the martyrs of Yeshua, and I saw her and wondered with great admiration. The angel said unto me, what is our marvel? I will tell thee the mystery of the woman and of the beast that carried her, which have the 7 heads and the 10 horns. And the beast you saw was and is not. So there is an appearance. Yes, it really was, but it's truly not as you see it. However, this is the beast that shall ascend out of the bottomless pits, right? And we did the discussion on that in previous chapters concerning the beast. However, that beast would go into perdition. And when you look into perdition, that's utter destruction. So that beast would go into perdition, and they that dwell on the earth shall wander. And those who would wander would be those whose names are not written in the book of life. Right? Those who are saved, those who rightly divide the word of truth. This would not have been something new to them. They would have understood who it was. And even with regards to the Holy Spirit who dwells on the inside, there would have been some form of resistance concerning it. And here is the mind which have wisdom. The 7 heads are the 7 mountains on which the woman sitteth. Okay, so the balance basically explains who the woman is, what the 7 heads are, um, who the beast is, who the kings are, and so forth. So we would just read what the horns are. So we would just read through it so that you get an idea as to what each thing represents, because this literally just speaks of the city, the country that stands as the woman of great influence, the mother of great influence, the molder of great influence, the manager of great influence. And then we're going to look into the kings, the leaders that provide the great strength, right? And apart from that, also who would eventually turn against her because Babylon is going to fall. It's biblical and it will happen. So, and the word cannot return void, so it will accomplish what it set out to accomplish. So it is going to happen. So the balance of the chapter literally speaks of that fact, the fact that Babylon will fall and Babylon will be hated. So it will not even be a situation where Babylon is hated because the kings, the leaders are righteous. It's just a sense of disdain towards Babylon. So the balance of the chapter basically speaks about that. So as much as we see here that there was quite a bit of favor given to Babylon, that city that reigned over other leaders on the earth, there would be a turn. And those leaders, 10 of them, are going to turn against that great city. And their united front would be the fall, would lead to the fall of Babylon, that great city. So, as we can see, when we look at it in this day and age, we can see that much is happening towards the fall of Babylon. We can see how that great city is falling. I'm pretty sure we're aware of the city. And even I am not too sure when it would happen in terms of even the dollar value be falling, but we see here that a few countries have actually pulled themselves away from the city, requiring that individuals from that city obtain visas to enter into the country. So all the rights that this great city had, it seemed to have been, it's starting to be pulled away piece by piece. So we're seeing a lot of movement towards the fall of Babylon. So if we pay attention closely, we would understand how close we are to that portion of the Bible. So as we go throughout the day, may we bear in mind that we do not have as much time as we think, and the fact that we're closer to the end. So may we be focused, may we be steadfast, may we be vigilant. The end is near, and the enemy is seeking whom he may devour. So for that reason, may we not just look at circumstances and situations just as what we see with the naked eye, but understand what's really and truly happening behind the scenes, where this earth is heading. So I pray that we all have an insightful day, and I speak blessings on you all.